Join us for a review of the Mercedes GLB, the new SUV, today as 35 AMG. Let's go! Special thing with the GLB in the front design, it has a very strong stance on the road and rather an off-road look. Maybe carried over from the former GLK, whereas other SUVs at Mercedes also have rather, a sportier look and so on. But this one here, strong off-road stance, I somehow like that. Do you as well? Headlamps come usually for a GLB with halogen standard, then optional LED, optional multi-beam LED also with high beam function. And then there are different front grills available. There's a standard one, then there's an AMG line with a diamond pin grill. That would be the one I prefer visually, but that's also a matter of preference. And then the true AMG model, the GLB 35, this one here has those vertical fins in the front grille to make it even more aggressive, together with stronger spoilers right there. 4m63, 15'2" or 182 inches is the length of the Mercedes GLB. And yes, everyone was expecting a shorter model that really literally sits between GLA and GLC, but this one here basically has the same length than the Mercedes GLC. So interesting as for the market position, but you see, the front hood is way shorter because this one here is the compact class platform by Mercedes. In this case, with the longer wheelbase that is, for example, used for the A-Class sedan in China. The A-Class sedan that we get in the US and Europe has the short wheelbase and is not the same wheelbase as this one here. But very interesting decision, definitely. So you might ask, what it's for? If you have a shorter hood and no 6 cylinders and so on, then you have more space on the interior, and that's what's also for. So not too long on the exterior, but a lot of space on the interior. Of course, we will find out more about that today. Then you can see here crossover wheel arches, even for the AMG model. The AMG comes with 19 to maximum, and we see those here, 21-inch wheels. Also the rear is pretty much upright. Then the tail lamps with a modern LED signature. Then we've got some contrasts here in the AMG model, also with a diffuser style. Those outer tips here are for beauty. The real exhaust is on the inside. And if you pick this AMG Night package, then you also have black exhausts and also black side mirrors. Also showing you that one here. What's under the hood? Yay, hydraulic struts. Love that. But for that price, I think we can also expect it, especially for the AMG. So this one here, a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo petrol engine, 306 horsepower, 5.2 seconds to 100 kilometers or 62 miles an hour. There's also launch control available. You've seen it in the intro and also later on again in the driving part. So pretty powerful, definitely. And the same engine that also is built in the A35, for example. All-wheel drive distribution. This one is a front-wheel driven platform, so it's front plus rear on demand. Maximum of 50-50 distribution. top part here is also soft touch material, so good build quality. You have an AMG steering wheel, so it comes with a flat bottom, and those special gauges right here for suspension settings and for the driving modes. We'll also show them to you once more. Left side for the cruise control and for the left thumb to control the instruments, right thumb then to control the central infotainment system, one way to control it, on the right side also for the volume, for example. Then those seats here are the optional animal skin seats, but the GLB offers a wide variety of animal-friendly and sustainable seating materials. One example are, for example, the black and white mixed seats. Those are from high-class Artico leatherette. Artico or MBTEX are their brand names for that. Showing you that here, and this one is even available not only heated but also cooled, so a combination of leatherette and cooled seats, quite rare on the market. Only Mercedes and Tesla offer that at the moment, so far as I know. So different stylings available. You can, for example, get a full Artico seat with full leatherette in different colors. You can, at least in European markets, get full fabric seats, or also a mix of fabric on the inside and then the leatherette on the outside, in different colors even. And standard for the AMG here would be Dynamica microfiber on the inside and leatherette on the outside. This is also a recommended option, also a very sporty and visually attractive one. Upright, already a true SUV feeling. The GLA does not have an SUV feeling, it's more a crossover feeling. It's not good or bad depending on what you prefer. Me personally, I prefer the upright SUV seating position. That's already quite cool here. The GLC does feel bigger somehow, yes. This one here, this platform sits a little bit lower. But again, you know, it's already quite comfortable. You can go on a long-term journey also, so that's actually quite good. Now the interior overview. You can see very interesting design elements like those turbine-style vents, also with illumination in the middle part. Then this cylinder style. This is an iconic design element, especially for the GLB. And also with those carbon fiber inserts. To the infotainment system up close. Wow, what a cool front view camera, great landscape here, and also great quality. And when I start up the engine, I can also easier set in the reverse camera. Here we go, also with a nice resolution, helping lines, and also this drone view from above. Also different perspectives are available. Also here, not to damage your rims, so pretty sophisticated system. And then what else? Especially for the AMG, you have those performance gauges. Then you can also rev up. Whoa, we don't want to drive. You can rev up that engine right here, rum. So when CarPlay is connected, Android Auto or Apple CarPlay connection via cable, then here we go. This is the integration, and the optional Burmester sound system is actually quite nice. Gives a good surround sound for such a compact sized vehicle. I would recommend it. So music, one of the things I found most important when driving a car, you know, at least to me. But here in this AMG version, of course, you also have some exhaust music if you like, and that's the way you go back to the Mercedes system. Then those digital instruments here in this special AMG shape in this 35 version, but you can also have different stuff in there. You can go to different stylings, and this one would be also then how it looks like in a normal GLB. If you have, for example, this classic layout that is available. And the head-up display is a good option. The current speed, allowed speed possibly. You can also set what you want to see there, and also GPS directions. I've seen better ones also that are more crisp in the visualization. They're not flickering, by the way. That's maybe just on camera, but again, there are some that are a little bit clearer and also a little bit bigger. So it's nice to have it, but not the best head-up display I've seen. It has the same length than the GLC, as I said earlier, but you have more space on the interior. And here, as I would be driving as a tall person, still have a lot of space in front of my knees. So that's very good, because you also have an upright seating position here in the rear, and it's actually quite comfortable. It is especially recommended for kids, because the upper, the seat bench here is really upright, and high actually. Let's now open the hatch. 560 to 1755 is a liter figure. What does it mean? Electric hatch available. Then you have this cover, and because it's also a possible 7-seater, it doesn't have rails on the side for the cover, but it's like rather wobbling around here, and sometimes it can get a little bit close as for the height when you have a backpack in there. You have to be aware of that. Other than that, it's also like very strong from this, holding back process. Then there's an additional cover. You don't have to use it. can also just go with normal ground here. And underneath, some more storage space. Welcome to Thomas's Driving Lounge with the GLB AMG version, the GLB 35. Let's start with the launch control in the Sport Plus mode, and let's go. Wow, that was almost to 90 kilometers an hour. Whoa, that really hammered in. So, and this 8-speed DCT is really hammering in the gears when you are in this Sport Plus mode. So great acceleration. This overdrive is, it's a front-wheel driven platform, but then on demand also torque on the rear wheels. Maximum 50-50 distribution, but it's always changing how much is being sent to the rear wheels. Especially here in the AMG version, they found a sportier setup for that. Also, the steering is stiffer in general. And if we start from the comfort mode here, there the steering is a little bit softer, but already stiffer than in the standard GLB. Sometimes maybe it's a little bit too loose in the Mercedes cars, and you have to steer quite a lot. That's also different to, let's say, Volkswagen Group vehicles, for example, where they have a little bit more progressive steering, especially in the sports versions. BMW is somewhere in between that. But here you always have to steer quite a lot still. You can't say that one thing is good or bad. It's also a matter of preference. I prefer to steer a little bit less. However, the steering gives you good feeling, so there's no dead zone or something. You still, can control very well. And here even the small commands are being transported to the road. And if you are then, for example, in the sport mode, steering is a little bit stiffer. The suspension is also stiffer if you have the adaptive suspension, which we have here today. So you start with the standard one, which is already stiffer, and then optional the adaptive suspension also for the AMG model. That's the same, but that one is also stiffer in all the modes. And as long as the road here is very well paved, you don't have any problem with comfort. However, if there's some bumps in the road, then you do notice a difference and also a loss in comfort. You have to be aware of that, definitely. So, and then there's also Sport Plus, where the gears are turned up higher even more. And you also hear more of the exhaust, definitely. At any time you can also use the shifting pedals here to shift down and give it a little bit more RPMs, and that's a lot of fun. So, there's a Cupra Ateca. And also then, due to this stiffer suspension setup, you see here, there's no body roll from the car whatsoever. So great slalom characteristics right here. This is pretty cool. So really stays very stable on the road. And this one here is the A-Class long platform. And that means we have a little bit longer wheelbase than, for example, with the, let's say, A-Class 35, which we also compared. Yeah, it feels a little bit less sporty, and this is also the SUV building style. But then again, considering it's a longer wheelbase, it's still very, very agile to drive. So now we can also accelerate out of the corner from the standstill, from the stop sign, and see how that one plays out. Also with the overdrive distribution, how that one, behaves. So let's see. That was already 75 kilometers. So again, good performance, nice exhaust sound. So yeah, that sounded quite decent. And now to our today's conclusion with the all-new Mercedes GLB. So it's a very interesting car because, again, same length as a Mercedes GLC, but on the compact class platform, on the longer compact class platform by Mercedes. So you have more space on the interior if you compare it to a GLC. And if you compare it to a GLA, you already have this true SUV feeling. Then a nice build quality on the interior, abundance of choice of sustainable animal-free materials on the seats, even though we didn't have the main car of that on location here today, but they really offer a variety of really high-class choices. Yeah, probably one of the best as for this aspect on the market at the moment. Exterior-wise, it is very strong off-roadish, especially in the front. The AMG then adds this sportier styling, definitely also with different spoilers and so on. From the side and from the rear, I think we can argue if that's the most beautiful SUV, but that's also a matter of preference. But the interior design, definitely very essential, but we already know that, for example, from the A-Class and the B-Class. I think that's really well done. And also the 7-seater option, also very important to mention that. Driving-wise, very balanced, a neutral feeling, very forgiving, easy to handle, easy to control. And of course, the 35 AMG adds this even sportier feeling to the car, makes it stiffer. You have to decide if you want it that stiff from suspension, no matter if you go for a base or even the adaptive suspension. You should not go for the base stiff AMG suspension unless you really want it rough on the road. But if you pick such a car, probably you don't want to have that. So definitely the adaptive suspension for the AMG, pick that option. If you go for a base GLB, I think you can also live with the base suspension if you want to save some money. The adaptive suspension will, of course, offer you a little bit more comfort and also more adaptiveness if at some point you want to go a little bit stiffer after suspension, and at some point you want to go a little bit softer. But you always have to check the option list if you think about, this car, and as I said earlier, 8,000 euros more than a GLA, 8,000 euros cheaper than a GLC, but if you spec it, it will be even cheaper than a GLC. And for a well-specced one, 40-something K, definitely, like 45,000 euros, that is maybe realistic. But you can also top it up even more, and with the AMG version, rather than 60K something. So it's not a cheap car, but considering it's a Mercedes, it's not as expensive as other ones. So within the Mercedes portfolio, together with the GLB, probably one of the best price-performance ratios there is. And in the AMG, yes, it works to have a family SUV also as the AMG, combining driving fun and the versatility. That does work. So you could say, why not? Definitely. Again, it's a question of the price you want to pay and also the emphasis of sportiness versus comfort you want to go for. What's your take on the all-new GLB? And of course also to this combination GLB plus AMG. Would like to hear your comments on that right now. Join us in the section and also tune in next time. Also to the static GLB review, if you want to see more trim and color and so on. We will link that episode, and also the other Mercedes SUVs, GLA, GLC, or some of the competitors. We will always link some interesting videos in the video description and also in the comment section. So see you there.